Sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
There are some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a large unexpected inheritance. An always on the verge of death phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone. Up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard so you can get a new one. Just trade in any phone from our top brands on any unlimited plan. With new line on my plan. Additional terms apply for trade-in and pay off your phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Something amazing is happening in workplaces everywhere. Devices are learning how people work and adapting to help them get more done. That's because CDW is modernizing experiences with Dell's intelligent portfolio of devices. Thanks to built-in security and AI capabilities, your teams can work smarter wherever they may be. Dell and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Client.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the chill? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on Train furnaces, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Saw this bouncing around the old social media, and I'm inclined to believe that he would want his name tossed around in this because he's essentially been away from the game as far as coaching specifically for a little while here, and I'm talking about Matt Patricia. So you guys may remember Matt Patricia, the guy with a gnawed pencil in his ear.
Yeah, that's his thing, man.
And he actually, listen, he spent the time with Belichick as the defense coordinator. He coached the safeties. That launched him into being a head coach with the Lions. Certainly didn't work out. Went back to the Patriots. And he just kind of bounced around as maybe a line coach, an advisor. He even got with the Eagles a year ago. And so, yes, does he have 3 Lombardis on his resume? He does. Mm-hmm. Is he known as a great coordinator? No. Is he known as a solid defensive mind? Yeah, he is. And so if Ohio State would be considering him as a defensive assistant, I don't think it would be a horrible decision outside of what are you expecting him to do? If you want him to recruit and do all that stuff, is he ready for that? What kind of inroads could he make in recruiting? Yeah. It is a whole different world now in recruiting. Maybe if he walks in with a big bag, he doesn't need to smile, right? The green will do the smiling for him. He doesn't have to be this affable guy. He can just be the guy. Walk in with that pencil in the ear and say, how much you need? Here's a bag. Let's go to work. It's a name. I'm not saying he's the right candidate. In fact, I assume there are probably better guys or younger guys or guys with different philosophies that Ryan Day would want to match to this specific defense. But I'm not going to just dismiss this as nothing. Based on who the guy is and where he's been.
Yeah, man. You got to put some respect on his name, that's for sure, because, maybe he wasn't the cause of those Super Bowl wins, but he was a piece of it, that's for sure. And you always want to have guys that know how to win in the mix. And Matt Patricia's been around a lot of winning, right?
Not college.
Not college, but just knowing how to go about your business, right? I think is valuable when you've been around Bill Belichick and you've been around Tom Brady and those guys like that. That's a valuable feather to have in your cap. And so the year away from the game, it sounds like he, spent a little time away from the game, as you alluded to this year. Maybe that did some good for him. We've seen guys like Mike McCarthy do it. Other coaches do that. Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick. These guys are back in the mix. So I would understand if this is the hire based off of how much defense he's been around and good players that he's coached up and all of that. And no doubt is a different game, when we're talking about college football, but it's not too far off from where the NFL is right now as far as the finances and the roster construction and all of that. And so, yeah, if we find out this is the hire for Coach Day, I would understand it because of his NFL experience and knowing how to win at the highest level.
It would have some cachet because of the name and where he's been and the New England connection and all that with Ryan Day.
Like Chip Kelly.
It would have
a
that.
Similar vibe to that, just without the personal relationship that was there, for Chip and Ryan. But, yeah, when you find out as a Buckeye fan you're going from Bill O'Brien, which had some cachet to it, to, we lost Bill O'Brien over a few weeks. Where are we going? Oh, you know what? Coach Day hired Chip Kelly. Makes you feel pretty good about because you know what the guy is capable of and what he's done. And I think there would be a similar vibe for old Matty P.
Yeah, it's a splash hire if that's the one it is. They're putting whatever final touches they on it. Because, listen, he promoted Brian Hartline, which we all think the world of, but he's now going to offensive coordinator. And then he hires a relatively unknown to most people and Tyler Bowen as the offensive line coach.
Yeah.
And then defense coordinator could be a splash hire. And I just think there's a little smoke to this. It doesn't sound like it's not a name that I thought of before I heard it, which makes me think like it's not just some guy that's always in the rumor mill.
Wouldn't be surprised at all if he and Coach Day have had conversations. But I think clearly there's some other guys that are going to be in the mix. He spoke very highly of Guerreri at the championship celebration, so maybe he's going to be the guy. But Coach Day, I'm sure, is in the lab and talking to as many guys as he possibly can to get this hire right, because, Ohio State is in a position now to where they always have a bunch of talent, but this year is going to be a big deal to have a guy come in and set a tone as a defensive coordinator, but more importantly, set structure on defense, right? That this defense can continue to play at a high level the way it has the last couple seasons.
Joe Burrow sat down with Dan Patrick on his show, and he talked about the evolution of his career and the fact that it was kind of a weird journey and maybe went through a little bit of not thinking he could be that great when he wasn't playing here at Ohio State.
Yeah, 100% you doubt yourself. You don't, I didn't play for 3 years, and it wasn't because I was hurt. That wasn't a great feeling. I was working very hard and improving every single week, and just never put it all together there. And so I had, my dad and both of my brothers played college ball, so I was able to talk to them about it, lean on them about their experiences and learning from them.
Well, yes, he wasn't hurt, but he broke a bone in his hand, right?
The year he was competing for the job.
With JT.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, there was a time where he battled with Dwayne Haskins to be the next guy underneath JT Barrett, and that Urban Meyer was not ready to anoint him. And so it was a wild race at the time.
His career has worked out, to say the least. It is pretty wild that it's happened this way. But if you're Joey B, I don't think you have many regrets. How can you have many regrets based off what you've been able to do in the NFL? But more importantly, that year down in LSU, the couple years he spent in LSU, but specifically that 2019 season, to where he's a part of an elite club. Like, that offense will be brought up as one of the best offenses of all time. Could he have done similar things here at Ohio State? Probably, with the weapons that would have been around him, but we know down there it was Jamar and Justin, and we know what those guys have turned into in the NFL. So there's levels to this for sure. But we know Ohio State wasn't a bunch of slouches in that wide receiver room here either. But it just goes to show that timing is it's so important in all of this, right? You're in the midst of a quarterback battle with Dwayne, God rest his soul, and you come across an unfortunate injury, and it sends you down a whole other path, and sometimes that path just works for you. And for Joey B, that path has worked and then some.
He's a walking example of what's meant to be is meant to be.
Yeah.
He has to have that feeling that all of this was for a reason, and he's got to lean into that and believe it based on the results that he has. There is zero second guessing, I would think, in his life as far as his NFL career goes. He also talked about that if it wasn't Ohio State, it would have been Bobcatville.
I did, yeah, I did. If I had gone there, I probably would have played both football and basketball. And I was thinking about doing that. Ohio State was really kind of one of my only, Power 5 big time school offers. And if I didn't have one of those, I probably just would have stayed at OU and played both.
Just hooped. He could hoop too, AR. I don't know if you've seen any of his highlights from back in the day. Joey B could hand you some buckets.
Basketball standout, as they say. Let's do a quick one on advice for the NIL guys.
Yeah, you should take advantage of, if you're going to be able to make 7 figures in college, you got to go and take advantage of that, whether you're if you're in high school and you're getting offered that, go wherever they're paying you the most.
Well, that's interesting. Money is a great tiebreaker for a lot of people, but I'm surprised. I didn't hear the whole context of the interview. I'd like to hear, like, what if this would be better for his athletic career? What if it's better coaching? What if it's better school, platform, training, experience? Like, always go for the money? Like, that would be the follow-up. Like, always?
I ain't mad at that advice. I'm really not. You know what else I'm not mad at? It's the Columbus Men's Clinic, because it's a great place to be, fellas. The Columbus Men's Clinic is the largest and most experienced men's health practice in Columbus. For a decade, the Columbus Men's Clinic have done this all day, every day. It's all they specialize in, and fellas, they've gotten a lot better over the years. Higher success rates, better administrative and medical staff, more treatment, and more happy patients and partners. Their ED, low T, and weight loss treatments truly change lives, and their experience makes the difference. I'm telling you, call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400, or go online to columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
All right, we come back, final hour. We play a little true or false next. Play along with us, Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Let Diamond Seller's Blue Box be a part of your forever. Join us February 21st and 22nd for Wedding Weekend and save big on wedding and anniversary bands. Plus, enjoy special no-interest financing on engagement rings. Visit Diamond Seller on Sunlow Road or at Easton Town Center.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus and save $90 on select sets of Ford Continental tires. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer ends February 15th. See store for details.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 3 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. Plus, no interest financing for 3 years. That's 36 months, people. And if you already have a price from another company, Universal Windows Direct will beat it. So you know you're getting the best deal around.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
At NJM Insurance, we like to think of ourselves as a symphony. We start with a foundation of doing the right thing. Then we layer in dedicated reps whose priority is you. Add in excellent discount programs. And last, but certainly not least, we put our policyholders first. And the reason we don't use jingles or mascots is because it's just not us. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
How'd you like to wipe out all that credit card debt to start the new year off right? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Stop getting fleeced by the credit card companies. If you own your home, go to AFLcash.com now. Advantage First Lending can help you unlock that equity and get you tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's AFLcash.com. You can pay off all your credit cards and other high-interest debt super fast. Consolidate all your bills into one low monthly payment. AFLcash.com can help you tap into your home's equity to give you some serious cash so you can go into 2025 with less stress and more confidence. Get the cash you need from Advantage First Lending now. Most homeowners don't even need an appraisal. How great is that? Get on solid financial footing. Go to AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. 844-394-CASH.
Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Home values in Columbus are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for 2 things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? TrueHold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. TrueHold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much TrueHold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt Andrews. Cleveland drilled the Timberwolves last night, 128-107. Evan Mobley had a double-double, 28 points, 10 boards. Up next for the Cavs, now 43-10 on the year. A game in Toronto tomorrow night. Buckeye head coach Jake Diebler yesterday on his radio show talking about his backcourt of Bruce Thornton and John Mobley.
Really, it's such a fun backcourt to coach because they're talented, there's shot making, there's play making, there's, and they compete, they're competitive guys, and just got a great relationship with both of them too, which is fun. But I love coaching those guys.
OSU women home Thursday night, welcoming in Minnesota. The Buckeyes now ranked number 9 in the latest coaches poll, NAP poll. Breaking sports news on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB. We'll have Adam Jardy on at 2:30. We'll get a gauge on Buckeye hoops and which direction they're going to be heading as we get into March Madness. We'll also play a little true or false. Under a slate gray sky, a ragtag group of renegades. The autumn wind was a pirate. His name is CB. What have you had prepared that will dazzle the eye and illuminate the mind?
That's a great quote, and I'll take the compliment on that.
No sunglasses today, CB?
No, I think that was just a little prop for one day. But nice. It's cloudy and overcast outside today. They're not needed.
I'm digging the Browns hat today. That's
I did it just for you. But no, I was thinking yesterday when I had them on inside how all of these athletes were wearing them in the convention center because it was super dark. Like I couldn't see anything over here.
It's a swag
so it's impressive.
Thing. It's a drip thing. Gerald McCoy, we saw him walking around every day. He had the sunglasses on all day. Justin Jefferson in there. It's a drip thing.
I even saw some media guys.
You got to set off the fit. You got to set off the fit. Wearing sunglasses in the club at night. A little dicey. But in the convention center where there's lights on all day, I'm not mad at it. You go to an NBA game, lights are on. I'm not mad at the shades inside.
Especially they might have needed it for that NFL Network set behind us with those big lights.
No doubt.
There was one guy that I saw on Radio Row that I don't believe was wearing them for the drip of it all. I think it was more of the eye sensitivity, too many lights, and that was Thurman Thomas. He was walking around with the glasses and the and the gold jacket.
That's how you do it.
So if you're wearing a gold jacket, the gold jacket, you're not going to say, well, I probably need to add some sunglasses to this, too. This isn't going to be enough. I think that's what I'm saying. Of all the guys,
and
I'm going to say...
AR, he was the only Hall of Famer that we saw wearing his Hall of Fame jacket. We saw Emmitt Smith. We saw Joe Montana.
Marino.
He was like, I'm wearing this jacket. I'm letting people know. I'm in Canton, baby.
Yeah, I'm not a realtor. I'm actually in the Hall of Fame. Well, listen, he's a littler guy, so maybe people wouldn't recognize him without it. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right, CB, take us through it.
All right, number one, we at this point we've all probably seen the video of Kelly Stafford on her podcast mention the trade situation surrounding Cooper Kupp and how she and Matthew are not very happy about that, and that if it comes down to it, she likes an adventure. Maybe they can go somewhere else. So the question is, true or false? Matthew Stafford will try to make a move out of LA this offseason.
I don't think so. I don't know. I think that even without Cooper Kupp, they could get him some. Puka's amazing. They've got a running game. I can't imagine that he'd want to go to Pittsburgh or the Giants or to finish out his career. I think if he stays with the Rams, he's actually got a shot to make a run at another one. They're viable. I'd be surprised. To me, and it doesn't sound like he wants to retire either, so I'm going to keep him on the Rams. I would say it's false.
Yeah, I'm going to go false as well. You laid out a lot of good points. I'll add to your point that there's a report out there that maybe Devontae Adams wants to go back to the West Coast. He's a Cali guy, so if you're the Rams, the Niners, one of those teams, I think they're going to be in the mix for him. And if Cooper does get traded, and it sounds like that's where we're going to be headed at some point this offseason, you absolutely, if you're Matthew Stafford, I think you stay in the mix because I still think he's got good ball in him. I don't think we talk about how good he is enough. Like, the dude can absolutely go. He's a Hall of Fame talent. I don't know if he's a slam dunk to get in for sure, but my goodness, that dude, his arm talent, even going back to Georgia, has just always jumped off the TV screen. So I'm staying in the mix if I'm Stafford.
Yeah, the dream of all dreams would be as if he went to the Vikes. That would be just ridiculous. That'd be the one that I could get behind.
Man, that offense will be
Stafford and Kevin O'Connell, who are already familiar with each other, having won the Super Bowl together with the Rams.
With Addison, JJ, and Hawkinson, I see the vision. I see it. But you know what time it is up there? It's JJ time. The other JJ.
No.
JJ McCarthy.
We got to let that knee settle in for another year, maybe, if we get Stafford.
Another year? Golly. It's wasted a first round
we
pick.
both have them staying on the Rams is the point.
Agree. No doubt.
All right, number two, the Jets. True or false? They will try to make a move up into the top of the draft to land one of these top two quarterbacks. Maybe like a top spot like the Brown spot, or if a quarterback starts to slide.
I don't think so, big dog. I'm going to go false on this because the more people you talk to, there's not a lot of people that love this quarterback draft. There's not that guy that you got to go get. And so if you're Aaron Glenn, of course you want to hit the ground running as quickly as you possibly can because we've seen, some of these new hires in the NFL, man, they give you a year, 2 years, and if you're not making any noise, there may be a chance that they're moving on to the next guy. So I'm going to go false on that. The unfortunate part of this whole thing is if you're a quarterback-needy team this offseason, whether it's via free agency or the draft, there aren't a bunch of sexy names. The only guy that would have been that guy was Dak. I mean, we talked about that all last season, but the Cowboys came to their senses and said, you know what, let's stop messing around. We have a guy. We're going to pay him. And so because of the pool of free agent quarterbacks that are out there, CB, and what we just talked about with the draft, I'm going to go false. The Jets are caught in a tough spot. That's for sure.
I could be sold on the slide. Like if they slide and they get to move up a spot and maybe they roll the dice there, but no. Were they picking 7?
I think so.
Something like that.
Sounds right.
I just feel like they're probably in that position of we're going to just take the best available defensive guy or a lineman, something like that. I just feel like the Jets are kind of stuck there.
All right, number 3, Ohio State basketball. They are at 14 wins. They have 7 games guaranteed left. Depending on how they do in those, they'll get to the Big Ten tournament, and how they do in that, either the NCAA tournament or what is it, the Crown now? They renamed the NIT?
Or it is weird.
I'm so confused on when I see it. I don't even know. I'm confused. But they will likely have some form of postseason play. So more games past that 7 true or false, Ohio State basketball will reach that 20-win threshold?
Yes. Lock.
Print the shirt?
I shouldn't have said lock. Feels like it, though, to me.
I'm with
It is
you.
officially
20 print the shirt season.
Here's the trick. You're giving me the postseason.
Yeah.
So if I believe they're going to get in, you just can't lay it egg at the Big Ten. You'd have to win one there, probably.
And I believe if he gets to 20, that would put Jake Diebler in a pretty exclusive club for first-year guys.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the specific thing.
He's
but
6
I think,
away?
Yes, he is 6 away.
And you say they have 7 games left?
7 in a
Probably
regular
shouldn't have
season
said a
plus
lock.
postseason.
I just like their schedule, and I like the fact he could get one.
I'm with you, AR. They're doing it. They're getting to a 20-piece. I got to ask Adam Jardy, are we not seeing Michi again the rest of the year?
I think that's...
I know, I'm serious.
I can't imagine
like
that
at
he
this
could
point,
jump on the moving train for March.
Man, that's unfortunate.
I'm back for the postseason.
Back and better than ever.
And then he's got to work him in, and is he even in game shape?
I don't know, man.
Like,
I'll ask Jardy. We'll get an update from Adam Jardy at the bottom of the hour. But yeah, I'm with you, AR. I think they're going to get to 20 wins.
The Jardians.
The roster's coming together here, getting guys healthy and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm going true on this, CB. They'll get to 20.
I think for the content of the show, we need them to go 5-1 the next 6. Head into Bloomington the final weekend of the season with 19 wins to try to get this. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, Indiana will be
a mess right now.
Yeah,
Woody's on his way out.
That's good though. It's good that that's heading that way, and now they can get some really good run up and hype into who they want to replace him.
Yeah,
they don't feel like they've got to do this tomorrow.
Maybe we ask Dockich if he wants the job. They offered him. Would he accept it?
I'll answer that for you. I would say yes. If they offered it, he would accept it. But I don't think he would be gunning for it, and I don't think he's a candidate.
Not at all.
If Dusty May wants it, he'll probably get it, but we'll see.
His answer was pretty interesting.
It was
when
interesting.
They had him at the podium. He gave the normal, I'm happy here at Michigan and all that, but he did not say
something about
outright.
Indiana was the foundation, but Michigan is now my current.
Coaches always give that gray area, response. The one guy that didn't was Mike Tomlin a couple years ago. Remember, I think it was the USC job, and he said there ain't a check big enough to get me out of Pittsburgh. He's been the one guy. Everybody else kind of waffles back and forth.
I think you got to play that game. Put yourself in that situation, how tough that would be.
Yeah.
As if your alma mater and the emotion, because we don't know what Dusty's emotion is for that. And then thinking that how often is the job going to come open, the timing and all that.
I'd love for him to say, I'm on the first thing smoking to Bloomington when the season's over.
Yeah, if they were all honest, he'd say, well,
I'm out.
Sure. They haven't offered me anything, but I can't consider something that's not there.
Yeah.
That would be wild. All right, fun little true or false. We'll come back with our pre-snap read and our Bet 365, and I will probably be going to the ice for this one, Maddie. I may go all in on it. You'll find out next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Love is in the air at the Schottenstein Center this Friday, February 14th and Saturday, February 15th. Join the Buckeyes as they take on Wisconsin. Friday night, don't miss Hearts and Hockey as the Buckeyes spread the love on Valentine's Day. Buy your tickets at ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Back in the studio with a return visit from
Todd Schmelt.
Todd, the last time you were with us, you claimed to be
the dumbest person in Columbus.
You're being really hard on yourself.
Not in the least. You know what I got?
I hate to ask.
One of them thermostats with the dial and the needle. Woo, woo, woo.
Maybe that's not modern, but not.
What am I? Eli Whitney, Elias Howe, Johann Gertis?
I don't know who those people are.
Those are old-timey people from the 19th century, and that's me. Outdated, like my silly old thermostat.
Okay, look, you're not the dumbest guy in Columbus. You just haven't called Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Those guys. Whether it's the latest technology, fixing your furnace, or a brand new system, they know all the stuff so you don't have to.
I don't have to know it all?
Nah, you just have to know the pros who knows.
Apex Pros. I'm not the dumbest guy in Columbus.
I didn't even know who Johann Gertis was.
Inventor of the gas-powered unicycle. Look it up, doy.
Okay, you don't have to be mean.
No doubt about it, Columbus loves Apex Pros, the pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. And everybody's had these pains, these little nicks, these things that you maybe had an injury when you were younger and you thought it went away. And then all of a sudden, as you get old, it starts to creep back. Doing everything, walking up the stairs, doing your favorite activities, golf, skiing, whatever it might be, the summer, the spring, the winter, it hurts. Hey, Do not deal with it any longer. The hip, the knee, the shoulder, the back, whatever it is, there's good news. Go to QC Kinetics. They're groundbreaking treatments for that arthritis pain. They're going to make you feel better. The long-term relief, it's now possible. They're right here in Columbus under the leadership of Dr. Ray Tesner, founder of Grant Sport Medicine and a classically trained orthopedic surgeon. Don't wait. Make the call today. My dad and I did. His knee's starting to feel better. My knee feels better. They've got PRP treatments. They can change your life. I'm telling you right now. So go to qckinetics.com/Columbus for your free consultation or give them a call at 380-228-4544. It's not going to go away on its own. They've got 2 offices in Dublin and Gahanna, so check them out.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Attention hockey fans, score the ultimate experience powered by Verizon.
Verizon is giving 2 lucky winners the chance to win 4 tickets to the 2025 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium on March 1st. Plus 50 participants will have a chance to win a $50 gift card. Just stop by a participating Columbus Verizon store by February 18th to enter.
Get your shot at this unforgettable experience. Hurry to a participating Columbus Verizon store today to enter.
Must be legal U.S. resident of Ohio, age 18 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit 971thefan.com/Verizon.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We are tracking a slight chance of snow out there today. Today's high will be around 34. Southern Ohio, though, is getting hit with a pretty sizable snowstorm, so be careful if you are traveling down there. Heading into tomorrow, we're looking at cloudy skies in the morning. Rain comes in by Wednesday afternoon with a high of 39. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, since Luka screwed me last night, his over-under was like 27.5 points. He had 14. I thought I was being conservative when I had him at 20 points on a milestone bet with LeBron over 7.5 assists, and he actually had 8. If he didn't go brick city from 3, 1 for 7. If he goes 3 for 7, I win the bet. So I'm not very happy with Luka right now.
I'm happy with Darius Garland because he blessed me with those 4 3-pointers made at plus 190. So shout out to the Vandy boy, DG. Shout out to the Cavs, man. They just can't stop, won't stop. Ian Edwards and the Timberwolves coming into town. Doesn't matter. Wipe the floor with them. Now, they did get a little broed by the Boston Celtics, so that's always going to be hovering over the head because that's looming, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the road. But they're just an absolute force right now. So we'll try to make some magic happen today. But before we do that, I got to let you know that at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We just don't do ordinary. Bet365 has launched a new sign-up offer. And listen to this closely because this is nice. You bet $5. You get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. Customers will receive bonus bets after signing up. I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns taking on the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. I'm looking at a Kentucky Wildcat. looking at Devin Booker. I'm going down this same avenue I went down last night with 4 3-pointers made. And I'm going with Book at plus 180 to knock in 4 3-balls tonight. So I'm rolling Devin Booker, 4 3-balls made. Plus 180 is the juice on that one.
All right, I'm going to the ice. I'm going to lean in on Team USA here in the Four Nations face-off.
America.
Not a lot of weaknesses. We got a lot of skill. We got a lot of power up front. And Matthews and Eichel and the rest, the Kachucks. I am looking at the goaltending, too, with Hellebuck. And I feel like with the D group they have, the fact that we're plus 150 to win this, you know, Canada certainly is Canada. We're never going to discount them. But I just think there's value on the US of A at plus 150 in this little 4-man face-off, the Four Nations face-off. So give me the red, white, and blue at plus 150.
Where are they playing these games at?
Montreal and then Boston, I believe.
Nice. All right, there you go. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. That Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Don't waste any time. Do it today. 21 plus only. You must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offers subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
I remember thinking back in November ahead of the trade deadline for Cincinnati. I know they were trying to make a run on whether it was the question was worth asking, considering that they were 3-5 and trailing Maddie's Ravens and the Steelers in the North. Now, they were never going to, quote, give up on a Joe Burrow-led team, so it was probably fruitless to think that they were going to make some kind of massive move before the trade deadline being 3-5, but because they have star power. They had star power with the quarterback, and they have a guy on defense, Trey Hendrickson. I didn't know if Duke was willing to move some veteran assets. Hendrickson would be the prime candidate. At the time, he was. And not only that, he requested a contract-related trade in the offseason, and that thing went unaddressed. And he's entering a contract season this year. And the situation could, I'll emphasize, get ugly again. He was on, this was on McAfee's show, CB, talking about his future in Cincinnati.
I think there's a time and a place. I think the offseason is a good spot to kind of address these kind of issues that do come up. And during the season, when you're talking about OTAs or camp, you don't want to become a distraction for the team, because inevitably the goal is to win a Super Bowl for Cincinnati. What that looks like this season, if it's something that we can agree on in terms, that would be great. Ideally, my wife and I would love to stay in Cincinnati. If it's something that helps the Bengals win a Super Bowl, if they get picks or anything like that, I want to help win a Super Bowl for Cincinnati if I'm there or not.
That's very. Or not. By the way, I don't think in all my years I've ever heard a guy put it that way. He really tried to play both sides. Maybe Myles Garrett should take a page out of the Trey Hendrickson playbook, which is, hey, use me to go win a title, either with me or without me. Just use me. Get picks. Like Hendrickson.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, the natural follow-up to that is, well, if they trade you and you're playing against them, would you still want them to win that Super Bowl you're talking about?
Not.
Probably not. His next contract, he's 30 now. He wants a new deal after leading the NFL in sacks, which he's more than entitled when you lead that stat. How much does he get paid? Do we have any idea what he's paid now? Is he in the high teens? Is that his deal? Somewhere in that area?
Where are we at with Trey right now?
The way these things are skyrocketing, I have him at
21.
Oh, well, that would be base plus signing bonus.
Looking at
so that'd be like
average per year is at 21. Tops in the league right now is the former Buckeye and Nick Bosa at 34.
Well, guess what?
Yeah, man.
Hendrickson's going in there asking for 30. Oh. May the odds be with Trey.
Listen, I wouldn't.
And the money.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, because you want to aim high. Aim high, Willis. Aim high, because of where he is on the age scale. Trey's probably looking at this and saying, this is my last crack at a massive deal in this league. Could be wrong, but usually when you get to this age, this is your last swing at that. So if I'm Trey in my camp, that's exactly what I'm looking for is, hey, let's start with 30. If you fall short of that and you're between 25 and 28 with the years attached to it, it's not a bad deal either. He's been highly productive, as we all know. I know for a fact there's one guy down there in Cincinnati banging the table to keep this guy, and that's Al Golden. Al Golden doesn't want to start his tenure as the new defensive coordinator in Cincinnati without Trey Hendrickson. So he's hoping and praying every night that they get this thing figured out because Trey's he's a dude, man. He can go.
What's the price tag? That's it.
Yeah.
He's going to ask for the world. He's probably going to ask for north of 30 and settle on 30 and then dig in on 30 and then see if they can meet that. I'm all into paying this guy. If you got to let Higgins go and pay Trey, I'm good with that. Their defense is a problem.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get any better of a problem if he leaves.
No question.
Then all of a sudden you're in a window with Jamar and Joe, and you're still having to score 40 to think you could win a game. Like, I'm not into that. I feel like this is a great leverage time for Trey. He was great on a defense that sucked, and it kept you out of the playoffs. Like, this is perfect negotiating time for him.
And hopefully the front office doesn't view this as, well, he was productive and we still stunk. So why would we pay him?
I don't think you could look at it that way. It's an individual guy.
I wouldn't put it past this franchise.
That wouldn't make sense to me.
I know it doesn't make sense.
Say just because you were a part of a unit that wasn't successful, but you were very successful.
Why would we pay you?
Why would we pay you? Because it doesn't matter. Like that's what the strategy. It just doesn't matter.
I hope not.
We can pay you and it still won't help us. No, you've got to build around him and get something going here. He doesn't have any guaranteed money in the final year of this deal, so you know this is getting done. Mm-hmm. Like he's not going to this year making 16, 17 million.
No.
This is now. You brought up a great point, which is when you're 30 years old or getting 30 plus in the Queen City.
He's already 31.
Okay, they don't love that.
Yeah.
They don't love that. It's younger, cheaper. And by the way, anybody listening that's ever had a job will understand you'll eventually get to the younger, cheaper part where that's what these companies do. But I think Tobin sounds like he's willing to make an exception for Trey Hendrickson, and they probably should.
I'm very curious, AR, because I think they're going to offer him a deal. How many years are on that deal? I would be surprised if they're going to go 4 on this. Like, I think an extension of 2 years, I could see them doing. But if I'm Trey, I don't think that's going to cut it. That ain't cutting it. It's my last crack at this thing. I need 3-4 years on this next deal. Taking me into my mid-30s.
Well, he did a 1-year extension last year.
That's what I'm saying. I did 1 year. I'm not doing that again. Not after I've been balling out the way I've been balling out. Yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Well, we're going to have to find out who they like better, T. Higgins or him. I don't think you can do both.
If you made me pick, I'm keeping T.
Over Trey.
Yeah.
And then the best defense is a great offense.
I'm keeping T and putting the pressure on the front office to draft well and develop. But if that would be what I would do, give me all the offensive firepower.
And Joe would probably agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, we come back with Adam Jardy in 2 minutes. We talk Buckeye hoops. Does he agree that the Buckeyes are a lock for 20 and a date in the dance? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction. And if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Tri-State Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weems, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Maddie's favorite show is Big Brother. Don't read into it. He's only watching strangers through hidden cameras. You're listening to Rothman and Creepy Stalker Guy.
All right, Buckeyes. They have been one of the most difficult teams to figure out. And what I mean by difficult is this has been fun. I've enjoyed watching them. I never know what I'm going to get with an Ohio State basketball game with these guys. They have the ability to beat some good teams. They have the ability to compete with good teams. They have the ability to lose to teams maybe they shouldn't. This is who they are, and they're trying to find their way back into the dance. Our friend Adam Jardy, who covers them very well, is with us now on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Adam, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good to talk to you guys.
Who are they, my man? Who is this team? What is their identity?
Let's see. This is a team that is Bruce Thornton's team. It largely goes where he can take it. It's a team that has gotten some pretty good contributions from a couple other guys in the backcourt. It's got a budding star in Devin Royal down low. And then the center position is a huge question mark right now. It's a team that, you can call it a donut, I suppose, if you want, where they've got a lot of perimeter options right now. I got Devin Royal down low, and other than that, it's kind of a mystery.
You mentioned Royal. That's the first guy I was going to ask you about, just because, watching him turn into the player that he's turned into this year, it's been fun, Adam. Just talk about the growth that you've seen in his game this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken that step. You see it sometimes, guys that are really talented that maybe don't have the freshman years that they want, and certainly his minutes picked up late as his freshman year went on. But he has stepped into that bigger role as a sophomore and really just kind of run with it. Like, he is very much a focal point of this offense. He's a featured contributor in this offense, and he's a guy that if he's not performing well, it really stresses out everything else on this roster. And I think that's part of why you look at why they lost the game at Nebraska on Sunday. Having Devin go out with that ankle injury and miss most of the game with that, they didn't have anybody else that could pick up that slack. And then you see that really kind of spread throughout the rest of the team. So I think that's probably one of the biggest compliments you can give a player, is that when they're not there, you really notice that they're not there. And that's the kind of guy that Devin Royal's growing into. Where's their confidence in the injury and how long he'll be out? It doesn't seem like it's a long-term thing. I've not heard anything new today. But certainly, like, when these kinds of things happen and there is that concern that it could be a while, you kind of get some more of you get a vibe from that fairly early on. And all the initial responses were like, we don't think it's long term. We got to see, we got to check. And I think they're just kind of being cautious right now. So don't have a definitive answer on that yet, but it certainly sounds optimistic that it won't be a long-term thing.
Adam, what can you share about the Michi Johnson situation? Coming into this year, in the offseason, he was supposed to be a big part of this thing in 2025, yeah. But what can you share about Michi and what's going on with him currently?
Well, I mean, at this point, I can share that, there's no way he can be back next season. I think we can all logically conclude that. He hasn't played since the middle of December. And, even if he showed up today and said, hey, I'm ready to go, it would be weeks before he'd be back in full, capacity. And by that point, we're in March. So, I mean, they've long ago, I believe, stopped expecting that he would be returning at any point this year. And that's obviously forced them to turn things over to John Mobley Jr. Sooner than maybe they had anticipated. He's had, really a breakout freshman season. He's been really impressive. But, Yeah, the reasons for why Michi's not with this team, those are really his to speak on, and he and his family have declined to do that to this point. Hopefully, at some point, we get a little bit more clarity on the whole situation that we just currently don't have. But yeah, at this point, I don't see any scenario where he's back.
All right, I'm not asking you to reveal anything that you don't know or can't confirm. I think you don't want to speak out of school. I know that, but are you sensing that this is more of a basketball type issue or a personal issue / family issue?
I know that there has been some family stuff that has weighed on him very heavily that certainly factored into all of this. That's one thing that I can say definitively. And when it does get into personal things like that, maybe that's just I need to be a more hard-nosed, whatever reporter. But, I tend to just kind of give guys their space. And hopefully when time comes around and they're willing to talk about it, then we can have that conversation. So I don't have more specifics that I can really share on that. But I have heard enough that leads me to believe there is a legitimate family situation that did play a contributing role in all of this. Now, whether that's 50% of what's going on, 100%, some other percentage, I can't speak on that, and I don't want to speculate. But there certainly is some stuff there that did play a role in all this.
Okay. Adam, I want to lock in on the center position with you. There's a few guys that have been in the mix here recently. When you look at the guys that have been getting minutes at that center position, which guy do you believe gives this Ohio State basketball team the best chance to win?
Oof. At this point, I'd have to go with Sean Stewart just because I like the athleticism, the hustle, the drive, the physicality that he plays with, his basketball instincts. We've seen him recently. He's had a couple of steals and slams at the other end of the court, which you don't often see from a five. The thing that's tough is that he's not a natural center, and he's playing out of position. And as a result of that, he's fouling out. He's fouled out, and I think the last 2 games, maybe the last 3 in a row, he picks up fouls at an alarming rate. And some of that is just that he's not a natural center, and he's playing out of position. So if you look at that scenario and you say, who else should be contributing in there? They're really getting nothing from Aaron Bradshaw right now. He had 1 point at Nebraska. He's had a bit of an up and down season where he was gone for a while. He was away from the team missed, I think, 8 games with that. He did have an illness here last week that cost him a game, cost him some more time. So they've not really had some of the opportunities to have the full consistent practice time they'd like with some of these guys. But when you're 7-1 and you're a former 5-star recruit, I just expected that we'd be seeing some higher level of consistent contribution from Aaron Bradshaw, and they're just simply not getting that right now. And if he can figure that out and provide some of that going forward, that's really the biggest thing this team is missing right now. That would be a huge boost heading into March.
We are visiting with Adam Jardy, Ohio State men's basketball beat writer for the Columbus Dispatch here on Rothman and Ice. I'm with you. He got bodied too much in the Illinois game. He's a former McDonald's All-American. They went and hit the portal. They found him. He's 7-1. They got to get contribution out of him. If I play the could or should game as far as them making the field of 68, could they or should they?
I think they can, and I think they should. They've played themselves into a situation where they are, yes, they're I would say they're on the bubble. They're still on the right side of the bubble right now. They have more losses than you would like, and that's kind of the thing that's holding them down. The thing that helps is that really none of them are bad losses, and you do get to a point where your record is your record, and that does have an impact. Certainly you'd like to have the Indiana game back. That's a game that as the Hoosiers continue to lose, you do wonder, does that become a quad 3 loss for the NCAA's net rankings? And then does that sink the resume a little bit? Because they don't have any bad losses to this point. It's also worth pointing out that Indiana game, back to what we were talking about a minute ago, they didn't have Devin Royal. They have Devin Royal in that game, they'd probably win it by 6 or 7 instead of a 1-point home overtime loss. It's a resume that has some really high-quality wins, and they need to avoid, any sort of landmines going forward. And the biggest one really left is tomorrow night against Washington. They cannot afford to lose that game at home and have that kind of loss on their resume.
One guy, that was added to the mix this year was Micah Parrish. Comes in from San Diego State, coming off a very good game the other day. I believe a career high for him. Adam, what have you learned about Mike? I don't know how much you watched him before he came to Columbus, but your thoughts on him as a player so far in the Scarlet and Gray.
Yeah, I didn't know that he had 30-point capability in him, to be completely honest. He's a gritty, tough, hard-nosed player, kind of known for, having been a key contributor on some really tough, solid defensive teams there at San Diego State. And just, I didn't know that he had that kind of offensive capability. Like I said, 30 at Nebraska, that was one thing. The way that he played at Purdue in that second half when they, really kind of flipped the season around a little bit and overcame a huge deficit, won at Purdue, he couldn't miss. I think he was 6 of 8 from 3 in that game. Just a dude that I feel like he gets as many difficult physical buckets as almost anybody in the league, where you're just saying all right, there's 12 seconds left, the ball's in his hands. He's going to go find his way to the block and bounce off of somebody and get to the rim somehow. He has a level of toughness and physicality to his game that I can't say I fully expected to see to the degree we have this season. And I think that's been a real positive development for Ohio State, especially when, like we said, you don't have Amici Johnson and you're not getting stuff from your post guys. Having a presence like Micah Parrish has really helped compensate for some of that.
All right, Adam, we'll leave you with this one. I'm not asking you to make a prediction specifically because you would never see a bracket or matchups or any of that. But do you have in the back of your mind what you think the ceiling for this team is after seeing them play 24 games?
I think that this is the ceiling for this team is probably get to a second weekend. And maybe they need a bracket to break the right way. And certainly getting a decent seed would help with that. And they do have a few losses that make you think they can't climb super high there on the seed list. But I think we've seen this team, they're playing with a level of toughness and togetherness, and they use the word accountability a lot. I do think those things are real. Teams like to say that stuff all the time, and it gets cliched, but I think this team is about those kinds of things. And the fact that they went through a 3-game losing streak by 5 total points, flipped it around, they get the Purdue win, they won 3 straight at one point there. I think there's some stuff to this team, and I think that gives you confidence that if they have the right kind of draw or if the right guy gets hot, it could carry them to a second weekend. That obviously they need some things to go right first, and they got to take care of Washington here on Wednesday to get that started.
No doubt. All right, great. Thanks for the visit, bud. Good update on this team as we go into March and hopefully the madness. Thanks, Adam. Be well.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Adam Jardy, Columbus Dispatch, covering Jake Diebler's Buckeyes. He was on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We will come back. We'll tell the truth to wrap it up. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace for Worthington Jewelers. Valentine's Day is upon us. Don't be a loser and forget again this year. Here at Worthington Jewelers, my store, I'm Bob Capace. We're giving you 35% off 14-karat gold and diamond jewelry. And how about 20% off sterling silver jewelry? We have something for every budget. Shop local and ask for me. Bob Capace. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
When you bring Pella Columbus to your home, you get local, personal attention from an award-winning window and door crew.
Yep. Our crew is full of award winners, too.
Well, that's great, Wilson.
Yeah. Jerry alone has won the hot dog eating competition 2 years straight at the company picnic.
Well, that's not really the type of award I was talking about.
Still counts as an award.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Attention hockey fans, score the ultimate experience powered by Verizon. Verizon is giving 2 lucky winners the chance to win 4 tickets to the 2025 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium on March 1st. Plus 50 participants will have a chance to win a $50 gift card. Just stop by a participating Columbus Verizon store by February 18th to enter. Get your shot at this unforgettable experience. Hurry to a participating Columbus Verizon store today to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Ohio. Age 18 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit 971thefan.com/Verizon.